Hello YouTube, Infinite Magic Raid community, Gandalf here, bringing you the pre-release or pre-summon analysis of Malosh. The objective of this video is hopefully help you kind of decide uh, whether you want to go for him on this particular Miracle Raid banner up. In general, the banner is pretty good, so there might be other heroes that you potentially want, and you might be lucky to pick up a copy of him. I have ran a bunch of different tests as usual with any new hero, and in this video I tend to cover all of these analysis on screen for you. But if you don't have the time to stick around, you want to hear the TRDL. Basically, I would say for Doom Legion, he's pretty solid in the faction. He's a good AoE option. He's nowhere near the damage of what Jack and what the kit brings to the table. He is a decent AoE damage dealer. And I would say that, compare against he doesn't have the single target nuking potential of Andreas, definitely not. I would say he's on par and maybe a better version of Anna. Um, if that's kind of where I, benchmark him in terms of, against some other heroes. So let's dive right into it. We'll be covering PvE, related things first, and then we'll also cover some of the PvP potential. I think there is a little bit also to explain about his mechanic a little, so we'll do that in this video as well. We'll probably start with that. But first, what I have done here, you can see I've laid it out on the screen. This is what we're starting out with. I put everybody at the same attack. They have attack up right now, so their base attack is 40,000. Everybody's at 150 mastery, but others are probably getting some sort of mastery. Yeah, they're all getting 150 mastery. In actual battle, everybody's mastery will be a little bit higher than Jack's, but it's not kind of reflected here because it should technically be reflected in the stats. So we'll keep that in mind when we look at the results. But we're really comparing heroes at their base potential, right? So maybe we shouldn't consider Jack's mastery boost for everybody else. But anyway, so this is kind of the setup, same attack, same mastery for everyone. The enemy has pretty much no effective res, so all the dots are landing. So you can see something here where it's a little disappointing to see Malosh actually has the least damage, as much as his kit is meant to be very much AoE focused. Andreas comes out. Obviously, O'Grady's and Little Jack are, Little Jack being a limited hero and O'Grady's being locked behind Elmo City. O'Grady's actually at exclusive 5 does a ridiculous. Starting at actually exclusive 4 is when she gets a big damage boost, and then at 5 it just helps the entire team out a little bit more. Um, so then, uh, so like if you were to look at this and say, where's the damage from Loesch? His kit seems to be very much AoE. Base, he should, we got 5 different enemies here. The biggest problem with Malosh's kit is that if you actually read his skills, none of his skills, if you read them, actually leaves a burnt dot on the enemy. So this is just mixed damage, attack and direct burn damage, right? All meteors, fireballs, um, and the ultimate again, just direct damage. So what's really interesting about these heroes is you don't need to build any effective hit into them, which in theory allows you to put more into attack and a mastery. On the other hand, when you're building an Anna, you probably still need to distribute some stats into effect hit. Same with even Jack and Andreas as well. So from that perspective, if you were to take away maybe 40, 50 effective hit, that can translate into potentially another, 4,000 attack perhaps, right? If you, because it's about the same multiplier on the rolls. So in theory, if you can effectively take all the effective hit you normally will put on these other heroes and put it into attack, say 40 effective hit away in subs, you could get 4,000 more. But realistically, most burns are like 100% on dots. So you really only need anywhere between, let's just go with that, right? 4,000. So 4,000, because the base, it's a multiplication on the base. Base is usually around 10,000. So you get 4,000 more on the attack. So that's 10% additional compared to, where most of the hero stats are going to be sitting at. Or you can distribute that into 40 additional mastery. So something like penetration set, no subs on effective hit is like perfect for this guy. That's how you want to build him. So, I mean, the damage potential is there. But because the fact he's not leaving a dot, and every two of these dot gets converted to, 300% of your attack damage ignoring defense, it adds up really quickly, and it really punishes you when you're not able to leave a burn dot on the enemy because you're not contributing to that detonation combination. Unlike, how Jack and Andreas, do that. So that is, fundamentally a little bit of a problem. The second part is about his kit is, besides the obvious, here's your kind of big AoE, you get your attack up. Then here is, 5 hits, but it will try to hit different targets before going for the same one. So when you're left with just a boss, this second skill is going to start doing a lot of damage, and your passive allow you to keep refreshing it. And it works really well on a particular burn team. So in a way, if you're doing the burn boss killer, he could actually potentially fit into that for Wuthering Coast. It's just really difficult to test that. But on paper, what's going to happen is whenever you trigger detonation on one of your allies, he's going to get a stack. And when he gets 3, he has there's 100% chance to get a shard, and every 3 shards will be converted into a fireball meteor. So when your team does how many detonations? So and what it has to be ally, right? So his ones don't count. So 3 will be then has 4 layers of fireball meteor. He'll consume null to cover it. But with his exclusive, he only needs 3 layers. So and he gets 1 layer at the beginning of every turn. So we'll just see that, right? So his attack up. Now look, we're gonna detonate something here. He gets 1 shard. You're gonna get he's gonna do detonation here. Anna, so let's watch Anna. Anna's going to trigger a whole bunch of detonation now, and watch the number of meteor shards he gets over there. We're gonna, yeah, so look, instantly he's going to get 4, and he's going to be able to cast his skill 2 without cooldown. So very kind of similar to, how Nita works, is Nita, whenever your team allies trigger, putting a, poison dot, Nita gets a stack. When Nita gets 5, boom, second skill goes, boom, second skill goes. So on an all burn team, you could very much get a lot of these stacks up very quickly. So Jax uh, see here, it says burn damage. It's not detonation damage, so it doesn't matter how many times I do that, it's not going to trigger it. Here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm going to trigger 5 burns, so that's like 5 shards, probably will be enough to trigger it. So you can see, right, immediately even at 3 he cast it, and it's not even his turn. So that's his exclusive 3. So hopefully that kind of explains mechanics a little bit. Basically, you want to get your team to do a lot of detonation damage, and he just racks up these meteor, counts. And when he hits 3 at exclusive 3, without exclusive 3, it's at 4. And when it's exclusive 3, you get it at. Sorry, I just want to make sure I have it right. Sorry, it's exclusive 2. At exclusive 2, you start getting these meteor showers, only require down to 3 layers. And it's at exclusive 3, he's going to be able to put all of these additional damage shards on the enemy. So you can see here on the enemy, there's this now additional buff from him, additional burn damage taken. So we'll have to figure out how much that is, because now it's a unique buff. What's really cool about this is going to go on top of the deep burn too, so allowing you to do more damage. So in a way, he is more of a bigger support for your burn team as opposed to being, your damage kind of nuker. So that's kind of where I will place him, is he's not the primary one that's actually doing the damage. You got bigger damage dealers, even in this faction alone. So if you have Andreas and if you have Jack, you're already dishing out a ton of damage. What you really need is survival. So from a PvE perspective, he's a really good option if you don't have Jack. You kind of do want Jack if you want to ever push and finish your faction abyss though. Jack is super good for that. Andreas is going to help you do probably more damage on the boss than this guy. But if you somehow manage to run like 3 DPS and maybe, the Liz and the what's her name? The big mask hero that, if you happen to know, please leave in the comment below because I'm drawing a blank right now. So yeah, so you can see, damage wise, he is not going to be your top damage dealer. The roles he fit in is more of a support. He brings a lot of damage amplification to the table. He has attack up. He has his own version of, deep burn. He can bring deep burn himself. So, if you don't have Andreas, you could technically bring him and a Jack too. So I think I like a diversity of option. You definitely don't need all three. Um, to push content, usually you want to run 2 DPS and 3 supports anyways. Or 2 support and a tank. So from a composition perspective, you know, I would say, maybe he could be, put onto your 5th team. So I think I said enough about PvE. Let's go into PvP and, do some testing about, what is the enemy potential here. So I think one thing to see is how well he does on a PvP team. So, this is our typical team here. So what we're gonna do here, whoops, why didn't that work? We're gonna apply, and we're gonna apply our lineup this way. This is our standard testing lineup nowadays, right? Against your typical, you know, your composition here. We're gonna we're gonna edit attributes here just a little bit. Sorry, we're gonna change the lineup for the enemy team. We're gonna take out the Donald and put in the Hen. And the rationale is, I think this is a good test because this is pretty much the tankiest thing you're going to see in Classic Arena nowadays anyways. So we'll save this as the... Oh, sorry, I did actually have that set up already, so my bad. Here, let me apply that. So pretty much the enemy has a little bit inflated stats. You can see the enemy. Wait, apply, battle. So we can see the enemy has slightly inflated stats. You'll be dreaming to have these stats because these are Kraken level stats for the most part. They're definitely higher than mine, and these are my realistic stats on my team. And I showed you the other day, what will happen when we try to cleave this. We're gonna make one change, which is to use the exact same stat, but to put in Malosh now. Actually, let's put in Nita, bring Nita back. Let's bring Nita back, sorry. Um, and what we're going to do is just look at the damage comparison. So you kind of have a, a baseline to go off of. All right. And remember, in PvP, we do 40% less damage. So, oh my God, why did I do that? So in PvP, we do 40% less damage. So just be mindful of the numbers you see on the screen. The other part is, I mean, you have no aura, no emblem. So that's also a problem. Um, we will we'll have to use the blue pill because normally you will get imprisoned, and you can kind of see the magnitude of damage here. Okay, so kind of 3 left, kind of half HP. Let's see what happens when we bring in uh, Malosh, and where is he? Okay, we're gonna press battle, and we're just gonna double check the stats. Enemy stats looks fine. My stats look okay, and he should have taken over Nita's stats. Good. So same stats as Nita. Obviously, you don't need that much effective hits. So what we're gonna do is just on my team, when he's doing the attack, we're gonna buff his attack by maybe 4,000 more. And we're gonna give his mastery maybe 20 more or 30 more. Let's just give him the best shot possible, okay? Um, and this way, when we're looking at him, he feels a little. Okay, sorry. Let's just make sure. Maybe when it's only you can only edit these stats on your own terms. Okay, his attack is there. His mastery is 180. Confirm. Let's just check his stats again. Make sure it's there. Yeah, 47 and 180. So we're gonna run it through the same way. Um, okay, we're gonna even give him the red buff, and we're gonna nuke it twice. 1 and 2. So what you saw there was that he did manage to get the additional proc. The reason is because I guess his own detonation damage counted there, right? Or yeah, so he got the one additional turn because of focus. So his 3 turns allowed him to get the 3 meteor he needed, not because he was triggering on his own. So you can see he's not really killing anybody. I mean, we can try that one more time. Just make sure his stats are right. And maybe slightly different RNG, we'll see something different. Um, okay. Sorry for the misclick there. So we will do that. Bunny up, blue pill, 1 nuke. And we'll just slow down again, right? So now the enemy actually has deep burn on many of them. Let's just slow down and just pay close attention to that damage there. I mean, it's not a small amount by any means. I mean, there is the Lydia damage reduction, there is the Santa damage reduction, but you can see is not, you know, that impressive. Not like how we have seen it on some other heroes. Um, lineup wise, let's even put in just, you know, let's put in Anna for comparison, right? Because I think the damage will be very comparable to Anna on Ultimate. But of course, Anna needs a little bit more effective hit. And what you're going to see with Anna's damage is the the ultimates are going to do about the same. You won't have the deep burn, that's the problem that you're missing out on, but you are getting the additional layers of dots. So that's the part that we'll pay attention to here. And of course, Anna will need a little bit more effective hit. So we saw 200k, right? So let's watch the damage from Anna. And Anna's first one doesn't have attack up either. So we're gonna slowly watch. Let's pay attention to the numbers. Right. So that was, kind of comparable to Nina. You saw the other 2 heroes melt and disappear. Um, so yeah, like if you're talking about just pure nuking potential and expecting something to come out from, Malosh in PvP, it's not gonna even, be at Anna's level for the most part, just because you can't get that one extra detonation in of 300% attack from that layer, right? So and to get through these multi-hits on Apple, it's a single hit, so that's also a challenge. But what Malosh potentially will do well is that, what if you were to run them in kind of like a 2 hero combo where you can get some additional stacks. So maybe Anna, maybe he will ultimate, then the Anna will go, and maybe he gets 1 extra turn from the bunny or something. Let's see if something like that will work. Um, so we'll put in the Anna and we will put in the Malosh. Because the idea here is you're hoping your Anna will be able to to be able to, sorry, what I'm gonna do here is maybe, yeah, let's do some silly, let's do some silly shenanigans here. Um, Here, let's do that. Let's give Malosh this. We'll change the stats up after. We can do, because normally again you're running three enablers and two, usually focus plus a DPS. So let's just say we run double DPS. Here I'm just gonna do some shenanigans to push the turn meter back so I get the turn. Um, we're putting Anna again because Anna has that AoE detonation, right? To trigger what we need to trigger on him. So, and, we're gonna edit our attributes here in a second to make sure that, Anna has good attack and he has good attack too. So we'll put it back to the high damage that we need. We'll put it at 180. Okay, so we're gonna do this once, and we're gonna just, strip a second time um, with popper. I mean, technically we do that, right? That's one way of, getting a double turn. Now we start with. I almost feel like I wanna. Here, let's take this out. I'm putting a bunny. Um, I want to give this team the best chance of, success here. So, and just want to make sure that everybody's stats is all right. Yeah, we're gonna give Malosh some extra damage here, and 180. Okay, so we're gonna try that again, and you could try this at home too. It's kind of fun, where you're kind of abusing on Popper instead, um, letting Popper take two turns and strip everything off the opponent. There, making sure all of this debuff there. So we're gonna give him one extra turn if he managed to kill somebody. He's gonna go. We'll do it in slow-mo for his damage so you can see the numbers. I mean, it's decent, right? And then we do the Anna, which will leave one layer of dot, giving him the additional meteors. Oh god, good lord. Um, I was actually expecting Anna to be able to trigger some meteors, but it looks like he needed one extra turn. Five only gives a maximum of 5 shards, right? So 5 shards isn't equal to 3 stacks. So at this point, I mean, you still can't, um, you know, go enough. But one thing I just noticed is, does it ignore defense? It doesn't, right? For some reason, it just felt like it ignored defense because I wasn't paying attention to the debuff. Yeah, it doesn't. Let's just do it one more time just to make sure it doesn't actually do damage through it. There's yeah, it doesn't go through. Um, so yeah, I mean, mm, if you were wondering, hey, can I trigger detonation on another hero to proc his, meteor indefinitely? Maybe in a PvE situation, it's too tough. You probably need 3 heroes to do that or a focus to refresh one of their turns. Um, so yeah, there you go. Here's my initial thoughts and analysis on Malosh. Hope this is helpful in your decision to get him or not to get him. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Gandalf out.